Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. This is TCTN. What is TCTN? TCN is the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy because we just do what we want to do. We have fun, silly sometimes, serious other times. Sometimes I speak gibberish. Sometimes I speak troll. What is the troll part of the crazy troll nation? The troll part is not caring too much about what the beauty community standards are. They say you need to use a certain brand, a certain tool, a certain technique, or your makeup will never be elevated. Listen, do what you want to do, boo-boo. The bottom line is self-acceptance, self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them when you want to, if you want to, but not because you feel like you have to. Ugh. That is the concept of the crazy troll nation. You see my eyes tearing horribly, right? I think that purple eyeliner I put on my lower waterline is done. I did throw it away after this look, but my eyes are tearing horribly. I do curse on my channel sometimes. What else you will see here is collabs, tags, hauls, subscription box unboxings, and also reviews of those items, reviews of other items. You'll see swatches. I am over 50, so makeup over 50, skincare over 50, and I do have sensitive skin, so I do talk about skincare quite a bit. And you'll see things a little different here as far as application and technique with makeup. And yeah, I did a poll on my community tab and the majority ruled. 86% last time I looked out of 22 votes said you wanted to see everything and to open everything up. I promise you I will try to go as quick as I can. I will try not to babble. And I'm going to show you everything I have. It's not a huge collection. At the same time though, trying to show it all may seem like a lot, but it's really honestly not. Lonette asked what brands I was not interested in, and I really thought about it, but I didn't have to think about it too long because I am turned off from trying new brands because of my sensitive skin, and I am allergic to carmine depending on how much of it is in a product, and there's other ingredients in products that I am allergic to. My eyes do not tolerate pressed pigments, and things that are glittery are not good because it gets in my eyes and irritates my eyes. But even using a pressed pigment on my lid, it absorbs into my skin some kind of way, and my eyeballs actually will swell up. And even after I wash the eyeshadow off, my lids are swollen, sensitive to touch, and irritated for up to 3 days, like no lie. And so if something has pressed pigments in the palette, I do not even buy the palette. And so there's quite a few brands I just stay away from across the board because I don't want to have a bad reaction. And with a lot of indie brands, they don't have a return policy. I don't return everything I don't like. I try to find it a home. But if I have a bad reaction, I want my money back. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one of the reasons I don't buy a lot of things. And so I may be interested in a brand, but once I look at the ingredient list or if there's pressed pigments in it, I'm like, nope, they're not getting my money because I don't want to have a bad reaction. I hope this isn't annoying as it is to you, as it is to me, with my eyes tearing the way they are. Someone else asked what brand. I will put the name here, and I apologize that I don't have notes here. I think it was, I'm not even gonna say because I think I might be wrong because two different people asked me for two different things. They asked what brands did I used to support and I don't anymore. A brand I do have two palettes from. One was the giveaway prize and one I purchased, and that's going to go in my Macari box eventually, my Macari store eventually, and it is Adept Cosmetics. One of their palettes, it was the Amunet the Amunet when they relaunched it or whatever, and they had a light and dark version. And I did read the information on their website. I will link the video below because it explains the situation. I didn't like how they handled the situation, and I lost trust in the brand as far as whoever was replying to me, their customer service or whatever. And so I don't support that brand anymore. And also, even though I like dual chromes and multi-chromes, I like the black-based ones. I like dark shades. Even though I like this look, I prefer deeper, darker, or smoky or grungy. And so even color story-wise, it wasn't appealing to me. But there were some things I thought to get. But after the experience I had, I'm like, I'm not buying anything else from that brand again. So that's about it for who I don't support and why. No, it's not. There's other brands. ColourPop, because something new comes out every week. Most of the things are not my color stories. I'm not really interested in monochromatic palettes, and so I just stay away from them. And the few palettes I have tried that I've received as giveaway prizes or someone gifted to me, I just didn't really care for the formula. So I stay away from ColourPop. Juvia's Place, most of their palettes have pressed pigments in it. It doesn't say on the website, but it says it on the packaging, so I don't know until I get it. So I stay away from Juvia's Place palettes. Morphe, I just don't support because it's just a problematic brand. Jeffree Star, problematic. Yeah, so it's only a handful that I don't support, and those are my reasons for that. So let's get into my collection. I'm going to show you easy first. Actually, no. Makeup I still need to use. This is my most recent acquisition. It actually came today. Today is December 15th. I'm waiting on the KBD palette from Ulta. It says it was delivered the 15th of December. I haven't checked my mailbox. Today is the 16th of December. So those are two of the items I need to use. And I'm not going to go through unraveling all of that, but you will see me use that and all of this other stuff in a video. I did purchase NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream because someone asked me to review it and I didn't have it. NYX was having, I think, a 30% off sale. They're inexpensive. I said, okay, I'll get it. So I am going to try that and review it. I also got another butter gloss, which are sheer on me, and so I am okay with using those. I purchased something from Amazon. I needed a certain amount for, I am so sorry if this is irritating to you. I needed a certain amount for free shipping, so chapstick, which I don't need. And this is I Love Summer Collection, Pink Lemonade, Peaches and Cream, and Strawberry Watermelon. This is my container of stuff that I need to use, just so you kind of see what we're working with here. From my CCO purchase, 2 Tom Ford palettes. That's what that looks like. This one is Body Heat, and this one is Honeymoon. From 50/50 Makeup, we have their winter palette, their summer palette, and their autumn palette. Ace Beauté, that I still have not used yet, when they had their sale, the Quintessential palette, sorry for the glare, their Flare palette, Oceanic palette. And I know I'm not being very showy with the palettes as far as holding them up, talking about stuff, because it's a lot to go through and I am just trying to move as quickly as possible. Recently from Alethea Cosmetics, I did another thing, I purchased more stuff. This is the Jolena palette. I did find a home for the one that came in the mystery box, because I'm like, I purchased this palette and then they sent it to me in a mystery box. But I did find a home for that and I am excited to use it, and I'm sorry that I am not here. This will be easy. These are my, are they eyeliners or lip liners? These are my lip liners. This is half of a LaRouche brush holder set. I'm not going to go through all the colors, but these are different lip liners, different brands. This one I should probably declutter, came in a subscription box. I have never even used this one yet. Nope, I have not. I don't use lip liners often. Most of them are NYX Suede Matte Lip Liners, and other ones are cream or creamier lip liners, just for me to try different formulas and different colors. The NYX ones are inexpensive, and that's why I have so many of them, and they're good for 2 years after you open them. This little doohickey, this is half of the Scott Barnes brush holder set, and my spatula for scooping out stuff, 2 Fenty fly liners, the brown, and the clear one is the black. The brown is called In Big Truffle, and the black is called Cause I'm Black. And my 2 Fenty eyebrow pencils, one is soft black and one is deep black. Or is it dark? Am I confusing myself? Yeah, deep black and soft black. And my L'Oreal brow pencil, and this is in soft black. So that's what's in here. I am very organized. I keep stuff, as you see, categorized. The other half of the Scott Barnes brush holder set, these are my mascara. I usually only have one open at a time, sometimes two. The third would be the Lancome Cils Boost Mascara Primer. But right now, this is the only mascara I have open. Scott Barnes popped up. And these are all the majority. There are two that are not. These are all eyeliner pencils, I'm sorry. And I use them for my inner rims and for lower lash line. And then I usually place shadow over it. Sometimes I don't, though. Like today, I didn't put the liner underneath, which is good because it's irritating my lower waterline. This is from Sephora. No, it's not. It says CoverGirl right on here. Yes, I can read. All of these are NYX retractable eyeliners. So I have a lot of colors. When they have sales is when I would purchase different colors because I've only had a few at first, and these are good for 24 months, it says. But like now, I did throw away the purple one after I did my look today because my eyes started tearing almost as soon as I put it on. And so that is that, and that is there. This, oh Lord Jesus, this is heavy. These are my lip products, and I remember when I decluttered, it was half empty. It's full again, y'all. So we're going to start from the back and work our way forward. We have the 4 lip glosses from Fête de Provence. We have 3 Pat McGrath glosses, and I like these for topping a dark liquid lipstick. There was a 4th one. This is really pretty over a black liquid lip. We have, this is Makeup Forever. This one is a Stila. Is it liquid lipstick or a gloss? This is a liquid lipstick. So you'll see a pattern with once I get to the actual lipsticks. We have 3 Stila lip glosses. This one right here is great over a black lip, and so is this one over here. I'm telling y'all, if you are skittish about a black lip, just top it with something. This is actually from NYX, and this is really pretty too. It's a dual chrome. Put this on the center of your lip over a black lipstick. This is House Labs I purchased from BoxyCharm because I was curious about the color. It is more light coppery than I thought, but she cute. She cute. These are 3 NARS something or others. I think Power Matte Lip something. I'm not going to take time to read it because we got a lot to get through. But these are the 3 different shades in that I have. I believe it was She Who Hits Pan on Instagram, and she's the Buffett Witch here on YouTube, but she doesn't do videos or shorts yet, and I keep encouraging her to do so because her looks are bomb. But she gifted me one, and I really liked it, and so that's when I purchased the other 2, I think, from BoxyCharm. These are these 4 items. Let me back up. Another Stila gloss that was not with the others. This is nice over a liquid lip as well. These are 4 Black Panther collab with MAC, and that's what all of these are. You know I love this one because it's black. The lip glass, I usually top it over something, but these are from, as I said, the Black Panther MAC Cosmetics collab. Sorry for the clinking. This is a lip topper that came as a duo, and this is CoverGirl, and I wish you can buy it separate because I really like this over a liquid lip to just like set it in, but they don't sell it separate. I didn't like the lipstick colors, I threw that away, but I did keep this. Haven't used it in forever, so I'm thinking I probably need to just go ahead and get rid of it because I haven't been using it, even though I really like it. I have 3 Fenty Stunners open now. One of them is expiring soon. And so these are the colors I have in that. I have 3 Fenty Stunners open. These are the shades in those. The Nema Tang, her nude lip set. This is the gloss. Beautiful on its own. It is very rich. I love it. This is the liquid lipstick. And this didn't come with the set. The bullet lipstick. This is a nude on me. It looks like concealer on my lips. And so those 3 items and a brown lip liner came in the set. And this is just a regular random gloss from Dose of Colors. And the Nema Tank set is from Dose of Colors. This is Jimi Hendrix Rock and Roll Beauty. It's okay. The color, I like deeper lips. I like me with a dark lip, but it works. And this also came with a liner. It came in a duo. These are 2 Rock and Roll Beauty liquid lip colors, and this is the color here. So this is like this is a really pretty rich deep blue, this one, and this one is a copper shade, so it's kind of here nor there, but it is really pretty, and I do like the formula. I am glad that I have it. This is MAC's Caviar. As of right now, this is my favorite liquid lipstick in black because Fenty doesn't make Uninvited anymore. And this is the matte retro liquid lip color, I believe it's called, or the retro matte liquid lip, or the matte retro something or other, but that whole thing is in the title. This is a lip balm that was gifted to me from Andy Does Stuff, and it is tinted, it says, but really it just kind of accentuates one of the natural color pigments in my lips. I do like it. I haven't used it much because chapstick. And it does feel like chapstick to me. It smells like chapstick to me. So to me, it is chapstick. I have 3 lipsticks from MAC. These are from the Keith Haring collab. The one in black is the red one. And these are primary colors. The one in the red packaging is the blue one. And I have used this in the look. It's really pretty. And this one in the white packaging, can I turn you, is yellow. And I have a video swatching these on my lips and mixing the shades and seeing what they would do. And it was really quite interesting. So make sure you check out my playlist below if you are interested in seeing anything in here, because the majority, if not everything I'm showing you that's open, I have a video on it. And I have a lot of playlists to make it easy to find what you want. These were gifted to me by She Who Hits Pan. And I really like them. These are Juvia's Place, her liquid lipsticks. And this one I didn't think I was going to like, because I'm looking at it like, ooh. But this is really pretty on me. It's nude, but it's a nude that still shows up without making it look like concealer on my lips. And of course, this one is gorgeous. And this is kind of orangey brown. So these I really like, and I really do like the formula. And I do wish that they had different colors because I would buy more. Their other set of 3 is a berry toned liquid lip set, and I'm not doing that. 2 NYX Butter Glosses. This one is a new one. I used this for a look. It is blue. And this one is Lava Cake. Yeah, so it's just a brown. And I have 4 Vanessa Myricks Color Fixes. My eyelids, I had a reaction. So these would be for lips or cheeks. And I only tried 2 so far. These 2, this one I did for a look. I put this on my brows, and it was one of those looks. It was a requested look, and I really liked how this turned out, like on my brows. And this is the primary color is blue. This is whatever color this is. And my concern, I purchased those 2 first, and then I got these 2, because online you can't tell like how similar are the colors going to be, but then depending on your skin tone, they may show up like the color it shows in here, or it may not. And so I have not used these 2 yet, and I will try them for lip colors. I'm definitely going to try this one as a cheek color, and this one, well, all 3 for a cheek color, but this one I am going to try on my lips too, and we'll see what happens. And even if I end up topping it with something else, I definitely will be using those for, that is so heavy, for lipstick colors. Sorry about that hesitation. This one is another one that's fairly simple. This is a 3-compartment container, Q-tips, lipstick applicators, and the sponge tip applicators. And I have cotton swabs or cotton squares there. And this is my eyeshadow primer, and these are my eyeshadow bases right here. So you see I have everything in its place, and I'm going to take these out really quick, show you, and you'll hear clanking because I will be putting them back. These 3 are e.l.f. No Budge eyeshadows, and I use these for shadow bases, and they're good for that. They're only good for 3 months though, and so these 2 I did not open yet because there's no way I would even get through it in 3 months, but I did want to try them. The price was reasonable. e.l.f. was having a sale, so okay, let's try it because they're really cheap. I have 3 MAC Fluid Lines, and this is the shade. I'm not going to take up unnecessary time trying to show, well, not show, but tell you what the shades are. I'll just try to show you the best I can holding it up. So that was a brown. I believe the brown is Dip Down. Actually, it is easy to read. This one is Macro Violet. So this is a purple, which is really pretty. I haven't used that yet. And this one is Midnight Snack, and it's a gray. And so I don't know what I'm going to use the gray for, but I think it might be good for a grungy look to put that on my upper lash line. Sorry for smacking. So rude, troll. I have 3 MAC. Oh my gosh. And I know what it is. Paint pots. And it says it on here, so just look at it and read, troll. This one is laying low, and it looks a little light, but I am going to try this as an eyeshadow base. And the other one that I have tried, this one is Contemplative, and it was more mustardy than I thought, and so it took a lot to cover up the shade because it didn't blend in to my skin tone. Yeah, so I just wouldn't take it all the way up to my brow. And the other one is Black Mirror, which I use as an eyeliner for my upper lash line. So that is this container. Oops. I have sitting here Q-tips, which I don't because I just refilled my other one, so that can be put away. Charlotte, it is. This is an eyeliner I use as a lip liner. Haven't used it in a long time. Probably should throw it away. Urban Decay 24/7 Glide on Eye Pencil on Zero. I use this as a lip liner. So because they didn't fit, because if I put them in here, I'm not going to see them because they're short. They're too short. So these are just sitting here, and I don't like stuff sitting out, but it is. And hydrating eye cream that I have just sitting here as well. All right, we're going to move on. This is foundations, primers. You see all the chapsticks, right? Thank you, Andy and Leanna. And so this is what this is, and eyeliners and setting powders. And so starting from the back, one of these came as a sample and something, and I liked it. And so for a sale, Urban Decay I purchased one. I have not opened it yet, but this is their All-Nighter Face Primer. The Urban Decay All-Nighter Spray turns my face into an oil slick, which is within 3.5 to 4 hours. I kid you not. People swear by it. I am so greasy. It looks like if you did this, you would just wipe off a strip of oil. It's hideous. So I don't use their spray. The Fenty Soft Matte Primer, the Fenty Soft Matte Foundation, my perfect shade, which I'm not wearing today because I'm wearing a matte powder foundation today, is $3.35. This I have not opened yet. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This is 4 in 2, which is Spice Sand. I can wear this all year round, and I can also wear the 4W1 Honey Bronze all year round. I may or may not need a bronzer with one of them, depending on time of year, how tan I am. But either one I can wear all year round, and I love it because these are good for 24 months after you open them. And I do actually finish them because I don't keep a lot of foundations. And actually, this isn't open yet, but even if it was, because I just finished one last month, actually. So I have this open. This may soon be open. And I have the MAC powder foundations. And so those are my only foundations. And so I'm going to show you the MAC ones right now. This one is NC42. Before COVID, dead of winter, 0 sun, 0 tan. This is my perfect shade. I haven't used it lately because even though I haven't been out in the sun for some reason, it's just been way too light. And because it is really light, if I put it on my under eye area, it just accentuates the darkness because of the tone. This is the NC43. This is perfect for the interior of my face. Like this, I guess your T-zone kind of area in here. This is perfect for that. And also what I do have on my face today is the NC44.5. This is what I have on today. This is perfect for me. So sometimes I'll put this all over and then go in with the 43 and just put this area in on my forehead. So those are my only foundations that I have open. I have, I was going to say two setting powders. This one is Fashion Fair Truly Tawny. That's what that looks like. And what I love about this is that this is good for, I believe, 24 months after you open it, which means I am sure to use it. And I think I am a little less than halfway. I may be like 2/3 of the way through it. So I like when things have a long lifespan because that means I'm really going to use it up, especially if it's something I like. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Spray. And this is also good for 24 months. And so this is a pressed powder. Is it waterproof? I don't go swimming in makeup. I don't. But I have worn this when it's been drizzling out or you know, something, and my face did get, you know, just spritched a little bit. But my makeup actually didn't look any different from when I wore this from when I didn't. So I cannot say if it's really waterproof or not. But I do like it. It is a good powder, and it doesn't change the way my under eye looks when I have concealer on, because some powders will do that. And that's also what I like about Fashion Fair. It doesn't change my under eye area. My finishing powder, and this is why I laughed because it's recent and I was going to call it a setting powder, but it's not. It's a finishing powder. Love to Hate Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, and this one is Dim Light. This is perfect for me as a finishing powder. It really is. I don't know how, but it works. Primer that I have in Open Jet came in a subscription box, and I'm kind of scared to try it because I tried the setting spray that came in a subscription box, not one size. It burned my face. I tried the serum that came in it. It was my Buxy. It was my BoxyCharm Luxe subscription box that came recently. The serum broke my face out. And so I'm scared to try this one. I'm like, I don't need anything else to have a bad reaction. But I am curious about it. Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. And so I am curious. But after bad reactions to 2 other brands, I'm just like... And that goes back to why I don't like to try different brands. I mean, it has to be something that really, really, really catches my eye. And when I see it, I'm like, you know what I mean? It has to be something that really grabs me for me to be like, I'm getting it. But just basic everyday stuff and new release stuff, I'm just like, I don't even keep up with new releases. The only way I keep up with them is when I watch Lonette's I'm Not Buying This series. And sometimes Grace, Joe Beauty 87 here on YouTube and on Instagram, she does new release stuff too sometimes. And so that's how I learn about new releases, by watching them too. I do not follow new release Instagram channels. I just don't, because I'm not getting into the hype of something and then buy it and can't use it or have a bad reaction. Like, I'm not about that life. The stuff is too expensive for that. I have 4 concealers open. I did declutter my NARS concealers, and the ones that I had not opened, I put them in my Macari store because I'm liking the Estee Lauder a whole lot better. And both the NARS and the Estee Lauder concealers are good for 24 months, except the Radiant one, which is good, I think, 6 months. And so I'm just like, why you can't be 24 like these? But these 3 are Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. The shades correspond with the foundation. And so I have 4N because I wear the 4N. And I have 4W because I wear the 4W, and I purchased 3W to just brighten. But I find that I really don't like to brighten under eyes because sometimes it looks right, sometimes it doesn't. And I did want to try their Radiant one, so I purchased 4N and the Radiant, and this one says Double Wear Radiant Concealer. And I do like this for under eye, and for concealer I only put it right here and right here. I don't do the whole all of that. And so I use the Radiant under here, and I'll put just the regular one under here because I put Radiant here and it just didn't quite look right. And I think it's just how my skin is set up. I don't know. And that is it for the powders and foundations. What was in the front of here, all the chapsticks. I'm not going to show them all to you, but those are there, and I've been rotating through those from when I received friend mail from both Leanna and Andy. But what we also have in here, Black Panther Collection eyeliners. There's a white and there's a purple. Did I put the shade names on here on the label? No, I'm not going to take time to read it. Let's keep it moving. I have a travel size Fenty mascara, and this one is Ivy League. It is green. I also have Miss Merlot, which is a burgundy that's not open yet. That's why it is not here, and I thought it was there. I know it's somewhere. Oh, it's over here. So that is it for this container. Let me know if you're liking how I have things compartmentalized. This one that I'm going to show you, move my Mountain Dew here. This is, what is this? This is kind of a hodgepodge. Stuff that I swatched but didn't use like in a video for a look, and also stuff I have used. And so because I had no other place to put them, and I don't like stuff just sitting out. And so the first 4 things I'm going to show you. Maybelline Lasting Fix Makeup Setting Spray up to 16-hour wear matte finish. This is good for 24 months, and that's why I'm keeping it. And I do like it. I don't use it often, but I do like it. I like it enough to keep it, and because it lasts so long. This came in a subscription box. Illamasqua Hydra Setting Spray. This is also good for 24 months. I do use it. I do like it. I just don't use it all the time for no particular reason, because sometimes I just don't use setting sprays at all. I usually use setting sprays when I use powder foundation, because if I overdo it, I might look kind of dusty. And so I'll spray setting spray, which I used today, which was the Milk Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. And so I did use this. I'm not going to be able to finish it. This expires in January, and the way my skin is set up, when stuff says it expires, I get rid of it. And so I've been using this like every other day when I do my face, especially when I use powder foundation. As I said, sometimes I just look a little dusty. And this is about to expire in January as well, the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And so that stuff is like right here, the primers and the setting spray. And the only reason this isn't with the other primers is because it didn't fit. So that's why this is over here. This came, I don't know if it was a free gift or a sample or whatever, but this is a mini of the Hydro Grip Primer. And also in here, I have blades for my box cutter, because that's where it fit. And it's very easy to store because it's so little. Also in here, oh, stuff is falling over. Let me just take everything out and then put it back. This free gift from MAC, this is the Rosie Does It. It's a cream blush. And that is what that looks like. The lady at the store was kind enough to swatch it on her hand, because I'm like, I don't feel like getting dirty. So that so that came as a free gift. And I'm trying to see what else. Oh, this was also the free gift, and it was for my birthday. And I did put this on. It does have a nice little glow to it. I thought it was going to be really sheer, but even though it looks orange, here it's not orange. Like it was cute though, and it is something that I would wear. So I'm like, oh, okay, that surprised me. This I have used. This is Powder Kiss Soft Matte Eyeshadow, and I believe I purchased it from BoxyCharm because I was just curious about the formula versus the other formulas that MAC has. And I used it for a look, and I think the Grace Jones look that I did, and I really, really liked it. And when I asked at the store, like, what's the difference between, you know, the regular MAC mattes and the soft matte, and they said the soft mattes are softer colors. Like, you're not going to get that bam pigment. But in the look I did, like, this was pigmented still. And so I do like this, and that's only in here because it doesn't fit anywhere else. And this container, it sits close to where my eyeshadow palettes are. And so I'm still trying to figure out where to put that. But this came in my Lethal Cosmetics Large Mystery Bag. And when I looked on the website, this shade is in their Grunge eyeliner set. And this shade is called Hurts. And it's good for 6 months after you open it. I have not opened it yet. And it's a funky color, but I do think it'll look nice because a lot of Lethal's shadows, to me, well, depending on how you use them, they do look grungy. Basic chapstick. This is a cherry, I believe that's in here. I haven't opened it yet. Also in here, I have Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. And this I use if I do swatches on my hand. I'll use a cotton square, pour this on there and wipe that off. So that's why this is in here, because there's really nowhere else to put it. This is another NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream. This is a different color than the other one. I think, I'm wondering, yeah, this is the one I was going to try. The one over here that I showed you in my container of stuff to try. So I don't know why I did that. I'm not going to figure it out right now. This is a MAC lipstick. I don't know why it's here. I think I swatched it but didn't use it. Oh, got this from the CCO. Y'all, this, okay, I'm not going to swatch it. I did swatch it in a video. This is sheer. It's a multi-chrome. And it's like purple, brown, some other shade. And I purchased this specifically to go over a black lipstick. And I did swatch this in my Black Friday haul video with Lonette. That is so freaking pretty. Another MAC from Black Panther collection that's in here, Show Off. I believe I used this in a video, so it should be over there with that stuff. Did I use it for a video or did I just watch it? Well, anyway, it's over there with its brothers and sisters. This is also Lethal Cosmetics, came in the large mystery bag. This is that shade. So that is in here to try. This is the Fenty Miss Merlot, the burgundy. Still need to open that. Nightbird Sephora collection liquid lip. I'm curious about the formula because I love a black liquid lip. This is unopened. This came as a free gift, and this is the Garnier Micellar Water, blah blah blah. So it's the same as this one. So this one is not open yet, and I don't know whether to keep it or get rid of it, but I don't know because I do use it. This is MAC Love Me liquid lip color. I swatched it but didn't use it, and this is the color down here. The other thing in here, this is a Sephora collection Rouge Gel Lip Liner. The shade is Contour, and so that is what that looks like. So that's everything in this container. Okay, whew. Moving right along, and I did move all of my makeup brushes, my fan, my official YouTuber's tool, and what else did I move? My mirror, because I knew I was going to need space for this. I'm trying to figure out where to put my Mountain Dew. Yeah, I needed it for this video. These are my face palettes, blushes, highlighters. I have 2 containers. And listen, I'm telling y'all, like, even though this looks like a lot of stuff, it's way less than a lot of people, but also I understand that some people have less than what I do. And what I say is just keep what you're going to use. And if it's something I'm not using, even if I like it, I try to find it at home. So this, we're going to go through this one first. These containers are from Amazon. Bath and Vanity Organizer, it says. And so that's what's in here. And Natasha Denona Tan, Bronze, and Glow palette. These 2 are creams. These 2 are powders. This one I like better as a blush. I can also use it for bronzer. And it does say, yeah, blush and bronze powder. But I have used this for an entire cheek situation, and I really like it. That's why I have it. Her stuff I purchase on sale, and sometimes her website has really good sales. And so you will see quite a bit, not really, of Natasha Denona, because I did declutter the stuff that had expired. And I did try it, had a reaction. I'm like, yep, it's really bad. And most of her stuff is good for either 18 or 24 months. Her eyeshadow palettes are usually good for 24 months after you open it. And for me, it does turn. I used Leela a year after it expired, and it was bad. And Biba, a few months after it expired, my lids had a reaction, so I threw that away. And also, I think Safari, I threw away because it was old. But I had them for 2 years. You know what I mean? So, hey, can't be mad at that. This one is the Bloom Blush and Glow. I purchased this during a Sephora sale. I was trying to dupe out a shade for something. I saw this shade, and I tried to dupe it with other stuff in the store, and I couldn't. I went back, and I'm like, I got it. So, but this is a cream, and both of these are powders. I have used this entire thing for a cheek situation, and it was really nice. I need to go light-handed with this because homegirl's rich. And Troll is heavy-handed, so I really have to be careful with that, but I like it. This is the only blush duo that I kept, and at one point I had like 6 of them, but they seemed a little funky. They were half off on her website, and so I'm thinking they were just old. I don't know. But this one is Golden Caribbean Coral, and this is good for, I can't tell, it says 12 or 18 months after you open it. It says, but so did the other ones, but they didn't look good. Some of them had like little white spots in it, and when I tried to brush it off, it didn't. So I'm thinking that it was mold at that point. So who knows how old it was. This is a blend out shade, and it diffuses the edges of this one. And so I sometimes use it, sometimes I don't, because the way I blend my blush, sometimes I don't feel like I need to diffuse it. But so this is just like a non-shade, and it does work though. I don't know how, but this shade was in almost all of the duos along with the blush shade. And for all the shades, it worked. I do this because when my eyes tear enough, sometimes it doesn't come down, sometimes it goes up. So if it tears a little bit, it'll travel upward. If it tears a lot, that's when it'll come down. So that's why I do this, because I can feel the wetness in my lid. But anyway, that's the Natasha Denona Duo. I have 3 pat blushes. I admit I don't use them often. 2 of them I don't use often. 1 of them I have one today. 2 I don't use often because they're very pigmented. And Troll is tan. So some stuff can be just dark on me. This is Paradise Venus. I don't know if this is the one I have one today or not. Does that look like that? I don't know. But that's Paradise Venus. This one is Love Struck. Yeah, this is Paradise Venus, the one I just showed you. This is Love Struck. That is not that. It's pretty on me. I have to go light. I had to go light with this one. So I used a really fluffy blush brush. This is Desert Orchid, hands down my favorite. I cannot go wrong with this blush. It's just perfect for my complexion, and other people, they love this as well. It just gives like a beautiful tan, kind of just like, is it there? Is it not there? You know what I mean? 2 Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt. The one I have one today, this one is dark. I didn't really like it at first. I preferred deep. This is rich, and when I put it on, it looks beautiful, but I have to be careful because it gets dark really quick. This one, I can just slap it on, and I did just slap it on a day, and you may be like, oh, I don't see it. You can see a little here, maybe here, because and I put it across my forehead. So it's like, is it there? Is it not there? So I do really like this one for my complexion because I can put this on with anything and it's hard to overdo it unless I just put it in the wrong place. This one I love. It is deep, it is rich, and it looks really pretty on me. I just need to be careful, and sometimes Troll just isn't careful. And so I have to, not say be in the mood for it, I have to be in a slower frame of mind because I need to slow down, because sometimes with makeup I'm just like I can't do with that because I will be looking crazy. Another Makeup by Mario, because I was curious about his blushes. This one is Wildberry. I did put this on. I have a blush comparison video. I don't know why like this, it looked like it was something in my nose. Don't it though? Look at that. But that's actually just my skin, because of how my nostrils are set up. You see that? I know I'm so freaking weird. Like, who points out how their nostrils is shaped in their video? I do. This is part of the crazy in TCTN, just having fun and just being who you are and not apologizing for it. And yeah, I did a blush swatch video because I thought this was similar to something else, and I don't remember if it was or wasn't. And I did do a declutter after that video because a few things were looking similar, and I don't like having dupes. I am not a collector by any means, and I don't care how expensive or how inexpensive something is. If it's a dupe and I like something else better that looks like that one, something's going to go. This was gifted to me by Andy Does Stuff. This is ABH Loose Highlighter in Peach Fizz. And when I received it from her, I'm just like, oh, I see why she didn't want to use it. I put this on. This is pretty as hell. This is so nice. And so it's not as intense as it looks. So it's like a peachy golden shine. And because I have a golden undertone, I was surprised. Because at first I was just like, whoo. Because we want to like stuff that people gift to us and not be like, oh, thank you, I threw it away. But I really like that. This was also gifted to me, and I have this on today as well. There goes the little plastic piece. This is a Fenty bronzer, and Tanya, hey girl, I have this on today too. This is Mo Honey. I like this. Like, it is perfect for me. You know, that golden undertone, because I'm golden and I do just like a subtle shine. I don't want aliens to see me and like scoop me up and probe me and all of that. No, just leave me here on Earth. This is Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in bronze. This is a highlighter. I love this highlighter. I usually use this only with Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath, and I have a video using it, and it is the perfect combination, and that was the only way I used it. Actually, it's still the only way I use it, and I keep telling myself I'm going to use a different highlighter with Desert Orchid. I'm going to use a different blush with Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick and Bronze, but I still haven't yet because it just looks so perfect, and I don't know why I'm doing that because that is not what this is. But this is really perfect for my complexion, even though you look at it and you're just like, what the hell? But I do swipe, 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 apply it, swipe, 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 apply it, and it is just perfect. For my complexion, it is perfect. That is this one. I'm going to slide to the left. This one is weird because everything, some of this stuff is long, and you see how short the container is. I didn't have anywhere else to put it, so I'm going to take it back and put it back in. And the Natasha one is too long to even like sit this way, so that's why they're standing up. And this does sit in the back just in case anything wants to flip out. I like that. All right, I took this out, and then those two did flip out. So ironic that I did that, and then it did that. So again, if you're curious, this is what this is. And it was from Amazon, fairly inexpensive. And so if you want to pause and write that down, or message me and I'll send you the Amazon link for it, I will show you that. This, which one is this? Let me show you Citrus first, because I'm trying to get my throat right to say it. Even though I shouldn't, right? This full price was $98. Yeah, her special offers page had 50% off, so I purchased this for like $45, I think it was. No, like $45.50 or something. I had no interest in this palette because I'm just like, $100. Like, I don't, I like your eyeshadows, but I got it and I really liked it. You have a cream highlight base, a cream blush, and this is a dual chrome, so this is the citrus part. This one is 02 citrus because of that. Sorry for that glare. Let me try to, all right, here we go. This is, one of these is Diamond Glow, and one is like a Super Glow, and this is the blush. So you put the cream base on, you put the cream powder on, you put on the powder blush. Did I say that right? Cream powder? I did not. Okay, let me try that again. Cream highlight base, cream blush base. Then you put on a powder blush, and you choose which glow you want. For me, these two, this one and this one, almost look the same, except this one is a little more sparkly, but not by much. And I think it might have to do with where I place it. This right here, this was on her special offers page, this palette, for a long time, and I think people were intimidated by this. But this is a beautiful, like, lime green highlight, and it's not pale unless you keep applying it. It can go pale, but if you go subtle, just like right here, this is gorgeous. And I did look at videos to see which one I wanted to get, and this one is the warm tone version of Daria. I ended up going back and purchasing Daria half off also. So you see what I mean by cool tones. Like, this is really cool, this is cool. I look ashy in cool tone stuff on my face, and so between the two, that's why I got citrus. But then I kept looking at this, and I'm looking at videos, and I'm thinking, I think I might be able to make it work. This was on the special offers page, and then it wasn't. And citrus stayed on the special offers page. Neither one are anymore, so I'm sorry if you got excited about it. I apologize. And so I ended up purchasing it because I'm like, it's still here. Like, why is it not selling for $45? Because Pat's blushes, other blushes, who did I have? Makeup by Mario. You know, blushes are like $30-something anyway. So you got a whole palette. Again, you have your cream highlighter, you have your cream blush, and then this is the powder blush. You can choose which glow you want, and this is not quite a dual chrome, but it is very pretty. I should have did this in the first place, right? I can work this entire palette, and I do really like it. I just have to be in the mood for dealing with creams, because a powder you can just, but with creams, for me, I'm more precise with it. And ironically, this cream blush is not really that intense. And so for this, it just tops it. So it doesn't really change the color much. But for citrus, this cream blush right here, I stuck my finger in the powder. This is intense on me. When I first applied, I'm just like, poof. This is way more intense than the powder blush. And so I just kind of have to be in the mood for just taking my time when I use cream products. Yes, I have powder under my nails. Another thing I had no intention on purchasing, okay, the Sephora sale, I saw the Nessa Myricks. I wish the font was in a different color because it's hard to read. Lightwork Volume 2 Highlighter Palette. This was not on my radar, and I don't know, I didn't see it. I was going to say I don't know why, but I do know why. I don't check for this stuff because the way my skin is set up, I know I'm not going to use a lot of it. She uses a lot of pigments, pressed pigments and things like that, and then the glitters, and I'm just like, my skin just is like, bitch, no. And so I saw this, it was on sale. And I'm like, what is that? So I go on YouTube looking at videos, and I'm like, oh, I do have a try on video with this, but it's in the midst of another video. It was a haul video, and then I did a try on with this within that video. So it's not a dedicated video. If you want to see a dedicated video for anything that I'm showing you that I don't already have a dedicated video for, let me know and I will be happy to do that for you. This is a blush on me. This is a bronzer on me, even though this is a highlighter palette, but everything in here does work for me in one way, shape, or form. Someone asked me, and I do apologize, I forget who it was. They asked if I can do a look with this on my entire face, including eyeshadow. And I thought about it, and I thought about trying it, and then I'm like, I'm not going to try it. And so I want to apologize, but I'm not, because this being a face palette, I'm not sure if there's pressed pigments in here or not. And my lids do not tolerate pressed pigments. And so if something says face palette, I use it for my face. If it says pressed eyeshadow, I use that for eyeshadow. And I know a lot of people do use highlighters for inner corner highlight, but the way my allergies and sensitivities and ivities are, I just don't, because I don't want to risk having a reaction, especially with eyes. If my face breaks out, okay, that's fine. But my eyes, the irritation, my eyeballs will swell up, like seriously, it's bad. And the sensitivity to touch on the lids and the burning, I would just rather not chance it. And so that'll be a request I'm not going to do. I did really think about it though, but then I'm like, do I want to chance it? And I don't. But this entire thing worked for me. And I purchased this one because this is for medium to deep skin tones, it says. And fairest of fair to deepest dark chocolate, I'm in the middle of the spectrum. And I usually lean towards, if it's light to medium or medium to deep, I usually get the medium to deep, even though I know some of the shades will not be for me what it says. Because again, this is a highlighter palette. This is a blush for me. I use this as a bronzer. And it works and it looks very pretty. Still on sale, and I'm wondering, will the volume 1 work for me? And I'm looking at videos. And so you see, even from the packaging, you have light, you have dark. And I'm looking at videos and I'm like, I wonder if I can make that work too. And you know what? It does work too. So this is what that, excuse you, troll, like girl. And so in comparison, you see how the light, this one here, is very cool. And this one does have a lot more warmth to it. And I think it's a myth that if you're deeper, you have a warmer undertone, and if you're lighter, you have a cooler undertone. I think that's a myth, but that's how they design palettes. And so you can look at this, and this is very cool tone, and this is warm tone. And this works for me as well. This baby right here, like icy as hell. I used this for a video, and it suited the purpose for the video. And I thought that this was going to be a blush on me. This is actually a highlighter for me. Again, this whole thing too is a highlighter palette. This one, a little ashy, depending on where I put it. If I just put it here, it's not bad. But if I do it here, this part right here will look ashy. But this whole palette, yeah, I stuck my finger in it, works for me as well. And again, if you want to see a dedicated video of me trying on both of these, I will do that. And I'm glad that I got it. And for the price that it was, like, and it's just ironic because, like I said, I had no intention. I didn't even know these existed. And when I saw them on sale, I'm like, that's a good price. I wonder if that'll work for me. Next thing I know, I have a email confirmation of my order being placed. Oh, okay. I am putting stuff back where it was. I know I'm not editing a lot, and I'm hoping you're okay with it. I am trying to move as quickly as I can. This was gifted to me by Smiley Shawnee, the Nessa Myricks Mini Lightwork Volume 3 Infinite Light Palette, Illuminating Eye and Face Pigments. Whew. Take a deep breath before you say that. She received this when she had purchased the full-size one, because these 4 were in the full-size one. And so, you know, she messaged me, hey, would you like to try this? I'm like, yeah, sure. I look crazy, I know. And I really liked it. And this would had me thinking about the other ones, like, because I do like the formula. I don't know if it's Spring Equinox or Blue Moon, but one of them does look a little ashy on me because the undertone is very cool. And these are not what they look like they do show up as color. This is Golden Eclipse. I think I have a try on video. If you want to try on of the 3 Nessa Myricks highlighter palettes, let me know and I'll do a video dedicated just to that so you can see what they would look like on me. This is Golden Eclipse, which is perfect because I have a warm undertone. I have a golden undertone, so it blends in, but you just see some shine like you do with this one. This one is Strawberry Moon. Very pretty. It is, you know, you do see like the strawberry little strip, but it's really pretty. It's not obnoxious at all. Spring Equinox, which is, I think it might be this one because it's kind of purpley a little bit. And this one is Blue Moon. So I think it might be this one, the purpley one. The same as with the other palette. The purple one was kind of, just got to be careful of where I put it. But all of these do look nice on me. And so I was really excited to try this because at this point, I don't think I had anything from her brand. Because again, I stay away from the shadows because I don't know what's in there. And even with the ColorFix, I tried it and my lids was like, bitch, no, you're not doing that. This is new, but not so new. Martine Cosmetics. This is from the Mission Triple X. I did purchase the bundle, and I'll talk more about Martine Cosmetics later. I was going to say Lethal Cosmetics. These, look at this shade. That is a dual chrome. This one is a dual chrome. It doesn't show up like one, but when I put this on, I'm like, wait a minute, which one did I use? And this one, look at this, it's purple, and then you got like a little blue there. So all 3 of these are dual chromes, and I don't know why I didn't think this one was, but I was very pleasantly surprised. Oh my gosh, that palette, this thing. Martine Cosmetics leaves me speechless. You just seen it. I love to hate. Love to hate. Hourglass, excuse me for sniffing, because they're not inclusive. And I stayed away from their face palettes since they started making face palettes. I did back in the day have their translucent setting powder, really loved it. And I have one that's not open yet that I'm thinking I should just declutter it or put it in my Macari store because I'm not using it, haven't opened it because I have these other face powders and the ones I showed you earlier. But I stayed away for a long time. I do like some of their eyeshadow brushes, and I do have 2, 3, 4 of some of them. But I stayed away from the face palettes because I was just pissed off that they're not inclusive. But I messed around, got the Tiger palette for my complexion. I freaking loved it. And I'm like, damn. And so for me, you know, this is like a contour blush, but it says it's a finishing powder. But for my complexion, it's not. This, and I believe this one are blushes. This and this are highlights, and this is a highlight as well. But this entire palette works for me. It does. I did a try on. I did 3 shades on one and 3 on the other, and both sides were beautiful. And I hate it that I love it. And so much so, the love-hate relationship. This one here, which one was it? No, it wasn't in this one. And I did get these on sale too, so that helped. But then I got Elephant. I love it just as much as Tiger. And some of my peoples, some of my troll riders, they were contemplating whether or not to get Tiger. And some were a little bit deeper than me. Even if 1 or 2 shades deeper than me, I'm like, don't get it. Because I wasn't sure it was going to work. And one of my homegirls, like, she purchased it and she ended up returning it because it didn't work for her. And if you look at videos, they're mixed. Like, some people that are a little bit deeper than me love it, and other people are like, no, it didn't work. And that's where the love-hate comes in, because they say this is for deeper skin tones. No, it's not. It's really not. And I'm still talking about the Tiger. It's not for deeper skin tones. And that's the part that pisses me off. And then I hate that I love it and I have it, so much so that then I went and got Elephant. So I'm like, what the hell, troll? So these all look really nice on me as well. This one I use as an all-over finishing powder. This is Dim Light. I loved it so much. I already showed it to you. I went and got the bigger one so I could use a big fluffy brush with it. Everything in here, the only thing I wish was different for this one and Tiger, I wish the pans were bigger. And so I have to use smaller brushes because the pans are smaller. But everything in here works for me. This one is great for setting my under eye. We'll come back to that one. This is good as a highlighter. These two are great for blushes. And this I use for bronzer or contour. This one works better for me as a contour because it's more cool toned than this one in Tiger. So I may use the one from Elephant as a contour, and then I'll use this one as a bronzer. But both of these together work very well, and even individually, they work really well. Continuing the hate that I love it, because I was loving this one so much to set my under eye, it sets it perfectly. And even today, I used the powder foundation. It was still looking a little discolored. I do have under eye discoloration, and so I'm never trying to completely blank it out because then I would look like I'm dead. So I don't mind the imperfections, because our imperfections are what makes us perfect. They are what makes us unique. And if you ever saw me with no marks or blemishes anywhere, you would be like, is she filtered? Like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't look like her. But I did put the under eye, that under eye powder there, and that one is Soft Light. This one right here, it's a slight sheen, and because of that, it does camouflage some of my under eye discoloration, and it doesn't quite brighten, I don't think. I don't know how it works, but it just does. And the undertone of it is just perfect for me, excuse me. And I loved it so much so, they did not have it in the single, because trust me, I was going to buy it. So I purchased the Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 2 because this is Soft Light and it's a little bit bigger. Clown me, please. I clowned myself. And so I use this for under eye. I use this one actually for bronzer, or like just a blush, like a bronzing blush shade. And this one I use as a finishing powder. And some people have used this, like my Complexion used this for under eye. I did that first and it was kind of gray. So the undertone in this one is not good for me for under eye. And so I put this on top of it. And ever since then, I just use this one, which I know I liked as an under eye setting powder because it's an Elephant and I loved it for that. So love the hate, love the hate. And so that was all of this, and these are heavy. All right, this is the exciting part. Again, I'm not, do you want to see this? Fuck. I ordered it December 7th. This is Moonlit Seduction, and it was on my doorstep. This is a weapon. On the 15th. And the address it came from is Burlington, New Jersey. And if I drive to Burlington, New Jersey, I can be there in like an hour and 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes. And so it makes sense that I always get my orders from her within like 4 to 5 days. And I was surprised because this is the holiday season, which every month is a holiday. This is the Christmas shopping season. And so I did think it was going to take longer, but no, 5 days it was at my door. And this is what it looks like. I was really not going to get this palette. And a few people were like, you should get it. You'll love it. So I'm looking at videos and I'm commenting, oh, that's really nice on you. This, what am I looking at? This is freaking me out here. Because looking at it like this looks burgundy. But on your end, okay, it's purple, it's green. and it's purple. This is what I'm seeing in person. This shade right here, this is what I'm seeing in person, that deep burgundy. So it was throwing me off looking at it, seeing green up here and seeing burgundy red in here. Interesting. And so what am I looking at? This one, that's a dual chrome too. What else am I seeing? Okay, this is purple, but now it's kind of like white. What else am I seeing shift? This is shifting a little bit, but not a lot. And now I'm looking at this one. So it's kind of coppery, then it's deep tan or whatever. I'm not good at describing colors. Yeah, this is my first time really looking at this. If you cannot tell, I opened it when I first got it just to make sure nothing was cracked or broken. So this is my first time really seeing it. And, you know, watching videos, commenting under videos, oh, that looks really nice on you, it's pretty. Oh, you should get it, you will love it. And I'm like, well, you know I like dark, smoky, and grungy, right? This is none of that. And so, patenting her damn sales, 35% off. I paid $83.50 for this palette. So I'm like, okay. And when I opened it, the first thing I realized is, because I had not seen it in person, I realized how cool toned the mattes are. This one is maybe kind of neutral. But I'm looking at these two like, And I guess inner corner for that. Like, so I'm gonna work with it and we're gonna see what we get. I might do 4 looks, 5 looks, 1 video type thing or something. I am waiting on, I think I said it earlier, I probably spoke about this earlier, KVD palette to come in from Ulta. This is heavy. This is, fuck, all of my eyeshadow palettes. This is all of them. And it's full, as you see. So when I say my collection is smaller than most people I see on here, I'm being serious. This is all of my, eyeshadow palettes. I do have, shit, that's heavy. I do have, oh my gosh, my lower back pain is flaring up on this side. Fuck. That hurt. And I need some water because now I'm thirsty. And this is Mountain Dew, so I don't want to drink any more Mountain Dew. It's in a Gatorade bottle. I do have an overall playlist for every eyeshadow palette. So if you want to see Natasha Denona, click on that. Just run the playlist, see them all. And I do break it down. Metropolis palette, Safari, Biba, Lila. And also for Nomad, I have an overall Nomad cosmetics playlist. And then I break it down. Fede Provence, Whistler, Berlin Underground. So you can go directly to whatever video you want to see or just run a whole playlist. Pat McGrath, I have them all in the same playlist because I think, including the new one, I think 6 I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I have 6 Pat McGraths now. Rock and Roll Beauty is just in one playlist because I only have 2 of their palettes. Martine Cosmetics is its own playlist. And so everything I'm going to show you is in a playlist somewhere. So feel free to browse. Trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So, Lord. All right, let's start from the back. I'm going to take some stuff out and then put it back as I talk to you. Or, you know what? I might just stack them because you guys wanted me to open up and to see everything. So, and I do have papers in some of them. Nomad, Haunted, Europe. I do have papers in them of looks that I think to do. And so I know this is going to make the video longer because I probably should have taken everything out, but then it would have been paper and clutter everywhere. And I don't like clutter. But this is Haunted Europe. I am so excited because quite a few people purchased Haunted Europe because when they said it was going to be on sale, I knocked out like 4 or 5 looks with that on top of the looks I already have with that. And quite a few people were like, I ordered it because I kept seeing all your looks and they were so nice. And I'm like, oh, did you use my code? Which you couldn't because they had a code because it was on sale. I do have a Nomad code. It's not affiliated. I do not make any money off of it, but you will save 10%, which will cut down on taxes and or shipping. This is Orient Express. That's what that looks like. Yeah, and in my videos, I do give my thoughts, and I also have a ranking video. I am now on their PR list, so I will be doing content for Nomad next year, which I would do content for stuff I have, whether I purchase it or not anyway. This is Monte Verde Cloud Forest palette. Very colorful palette. Yeah. Excuse me for hiccuping. So I'm not going to give any thoughts or anything. This is Natasha Denona Eyeshadow Palette 10. I think she was experimenting with 10 pan shadows. It's all metallic. Love this palette. And this, excuse me for that, expires in March. It doesn't have any of the cream to powder or creamy matte formulas in it. So I think that may actually last me a little bit longer. This... I told y'all, man, Martine Cosmetics leaves me speechless. I think I saw, it was the first time I even heard of the brand, Nikki Raven. She did either 4 look, 3 look, 5 look, something. Listen, this is an international brand. I looked at her looks and I'm thinking Troll has sensitivities and ivities. I ordered this damn palette from Belgium. Full price. Extra charges. Shipping, I think, was like $17, $18. I did not care. I looked at this and it screamed, Troll, get me the fuck right now. And I did. And I'm glad I did. And then even after I ordered it, I'm like, what if I have a reaction? The formula? This palette, oh, I am so glad that I did. Anything you do with this is going to be grungy. And I love grungy. But I was just like, it leaves me speechless. And then I'll be stuttering. It just like takes, I don't know what it does to me, but I have trouble finding words. Mission Triple X. I purchased it with the bundle with the highlighter from Belgium. Shipping costs, everything. I did not care. and that goes back to when she had asked me palettes. I mean, not palettes, but brands that I'm not interested in. If something screams at me, I'm getting it. And I knew I liked the formula from the 669, but this palette too. And this with the highlighter palette, it was like, the bundle was $98. I think shipping was like $17. There were no codes or anything. I paid full price. That's how hard and loud this was screaming my name. The same as 669. I'm like, I don't care. And it sold out quick. Then it came back. I don't know if it sold out again. 669, I heard they're bringing it back. And so I think they will bring back the Mission Triple X. If you see it and you want it, get it. If it just happens to pop up again on Beauty Bay, if you want it, get it. It's going to keep selling out. I promise you. If you love grunge, man, oh man. Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. All of these have papers in them. These are all of my Nomad palettes minus the 2 I just showed you. The reason I showed you those 2 first is because they're taller, so they're in the back. These are the same size as the Natasha Denona palettes. And so I have like tall palettes and then it just kind of comes down. So Whistler, Snow Lodge, their palettes are said to be good for 12 months after you open it. And for me, the formula does change. And so I did purchase another one of Whistler, which is one of my favorites from them, when during, I think it was the 50% off sale. Like, we ordered so much, you got 50% off. And I'm like, I know stuff I want to order. So that to me was an amazing sale. And so I do have another one of these. This is one of my favorites. And I wasn't sure about like these greens and this one. Everything in here works for me. This is a little iffy depending on where I put it, or what I use to blend out, or what I layer on top of it, because it is so cool tone. but everything in here, and I love that there's a black in here. This is one of my favorite Nomad palettes. And you can take it grungy if you want to because of those deeper tones and or the way you blend them or pack them or whatever you do. But that's one of my favorite Nomads, and I have looks to do on here and on the inside. As I told you, I do write stuff down. This is, I think Whistler was my first PR from them. And when I seen it, I'm like, oh, it's perfect. This is, and I know what it is. My brain is locked up because I'm still thinking Martine Cosmetics, which leaves me speechless, as I keep saying. This is Marrakesh. And I have done, I think, 9 looks with this palette. And each look is distinctly different because I thought everything was going to look the same. Aside from these blues and this, like these 9 shades, well, minus this one, but like these here, it's like, are you going to get variety? Yes, you will. This palette surprised me in a very good way, and I really do like this palette. So if you like predominantly warm tones and neutrals, you would. I'm not sure what's still available or not. And now that I'm thinking about it, I should have did this before the sales, but welcome to Vlogmas, whatever day this is. Berlin Underground. This was also one of my favorites because it's grungy. It's a softer grunge, but it's still grungy. And I really like this. And this palette is predominantly metallics. I want to say mattes with a sheen. So they're not quite metallic. They're definitely not shimmers, but it's just like a really soft kind of, here we are, without being obnoxious. And the black is nice because you can deepen everything. This is nice too to deepen. I will say overall with Nomad Cosmetics, the palettes don't have enough deeper shades for darker skin tones. And so for me, what I'm showing you works, but I do acknowledge that, okay, you have this black, you have this purple. Everything else in here, like, what are you going to do for transition? What are you going to do for, you know, outer corner? You know what I mean? Without always using just one of these 2 shades. And so, and that's kind of across the board. And it's unfortunate because when I do looks, you know, my audience, you guys are diverse. And you're like, it's nice, but that wouldn't work for me. This isn't going to work for deeper skin tones. Unless you just like bold blues. Oh, gosh, stuck my finger in it. But that's all you're going to get. You know what I mean? Because these shades here, you're not going to be able to do a complete look with these palettes if you're wanting a transition shade that's going to complement your skin tone, or an outer corner shade, an outer lid shade. And Whistler, you know, may be your best bet, but still, you only just have this one. This one shows up light even on me. So still, and it's kind of sad in a way. And so I'm hoping that that's something that will change. And it may be something that they haven't realized because, you know, you make palettes and people buy them and they love them, but there's still a population of people that's like, yeah, that's pretty, but it's not going to work for me. And so in that sense, I am kind of sad about it. This is America's Parks. And I love the brand that each palette, they support a different charity or a different organization. This is a beautiful palette. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of shimmers in here. But again, there's not any deep shades for anybody deeper than me. And so I am really hoping it'll change. I don't know what it will take. I think if we speak up, they will realize they need deeper shades because they are really, it's a husband and wife team, very small team. I don't know how many other people do other stuff, but a husband and wife, they're co-founders of the brand. They are very receptive to constructive criticism and to feedback. And so I think if they hear from different people, you know, it's not working for a certain population, I think they will make a difference. I think they will change things. This is Fête de Provence. All of this doesn't even work for me because of the cool tones and the lighter tones. But like these 2 rows here, even though this is cool and that's cool, when I layered this over that and when I layered this over that, those were the looks I really loved. And these 2 tones, this turns the look grungy, which I like. And this is a really nice shade. It really pops. But for this one, these 2 look the same. And like some of these right here just didn't work for me. But again, if you're deeper than me, you know, you just have this and that's like a charcoal color. But this palette, I liked some of the looks I did. I think there were only 1 or 2 looks that I was like, yeah, this is me. And it's just because of the tones. And I keep it because I do like the looks that I did. And I have 3 different stickies on here with looks to try that I've seen other people do. And so we're going to see. And some of it comes down to preference with whether you prefer warm tones, cool tones, neutral tones, or whatever. This is Hudson Valley. It came out in the fall. This palette I kind of struggled with in a way because you have cool tones and you have warm tones, which I do like the overall color story. And you have the 3 shimmers, which I'm not upset about at all. And I can make the palette work. Do I gravitate to it? No. For some reason, and I think it might be, I think this has apple cider vinegar or something in it. No, apple seed oil. Excuse me, I had an internal belch thing going on there. Hey, how you doing? For me, the mattes were a little difficult to blend out. The first 2 times I used it. The 3rd time I used it, it didn't. I didn't have trouble blending them out. And so I don't know what was up with that. And I used the same primer. So I don't know if there was like an overlay I had to get through or something. I am not sure. But the first 2 times I used it, I'm just like, this is not the formula I'm used to. And then I thought maybe it's the apple seed oil. And even though I like Nomad's formula, because each palette does have a different element, a different oil or something, the formula is not identical, which is neither here nor there, because even with different shadow colors, you're using different colors to make that color. You know what I'm saying? That didn't sound right, but I get the feeling y'all know what I mean, because some of you are used to me speaking troll by now. But this is a really beautiful palette. Some people struggle with it because it was a mix of the warm and cool. And I have done a look by a row, and I think it was for a collab. So that meant mixing the warm with the cool and have the one shimmer in the middle of that row. And it was a really nice look. And so you can mix warm and cool. It's just depending on where you put them to get it how you like it. And so, oh gosh. Yeah. Nomad Iceland Fire and Ice palette. This one, when I first got it, I got it because this right here, Gallows Lava, was sent to me as a single in Ipsy. And I'm like, oh, that's the Nomad shadow. What palette is that in? And that's when I looked at the palette online. And I'm thinking, I don't know about these cool blues. Of course, from here over, I'm like, hell yeah. But then I'm like, for me, it's important to like the entire palette. So I was like, I don't know. So I ordered it because at this time I was receiving PR. And I'm like, if they could send me a palette, I can buy a palette. You know what I'm saying? And so I bought it. And that's when I also got Orient Express, because I'm like, they send me a palette, I can buy stuff. Because I still do want to support the brand other than just doing videos for you guys to see whatever it is. And also, I think it says something to do that when I still purchase from the brand, even if it's not PR. I'm still going to use their stuff and feature it on my channel. That's the way my troll brain works. And so one of the first looks I did was with the blues, and I liked the look. I'm like, oh. If I like the shades I didn't think I was going to like, I know I'm going to love the rest of the palette. And I do. And I do. And I think I did at least 1 collab, maybe 2 with this palette. But again, I have a playlist for everything, so you can find what I did. We have 3. That is it? 5? Natasha Denona's, because as I said, I did declutter because some of them did turn. Circle Loco. I purchased it because it was different. And this is not original to the palette. And surprisingly, what is happening? Oh my gosh, my battery's at 5%. I gotta go plug this up and come back. Damn it. All right, you'll see me in a few seconds. Well, those few seconds was probably like 30 minutes. Anyway, picking up where we left off. First of all, notice the lip. I'm going to talk about that later. Circle Loco, I purchased it because it was different. I think I did say that. This is the only thing not original to the palette. And surprisingly, I have not even used this with any of these shades. And my thought was this would deepen up something else. The shade that was here was a matte version of this shade. And this barely shows up on me, gives me some shimmer, but the matte version of this did not show up on me at all. So I'm like, why are you there? So I put this in here, and I forget what palette this is from Natasha Denona. But I do really like this palette. This shows up ashy on me depending on where I put it. This shows up ashy on me depending where I put it. But these shades do work together really well. The different textures, there's at least one dual chrome in here. I believe it's either this one or that one. And this one plays off of the purples. This one plays off of these shades here, which is really nice. This is a beautiful color, which looks nice with this row and actually with this one. So that is Circle Loco, which means the Crazy Circus. This is Metropolis, and this says it expires September this year. I'm wanting this to go on sale because this to me is an everyday palette because it has everything in here. One of these, at least this one, is not original to this palette, and I don't think this one is either. This was a Chroma Crystal, which I hated because it was very chunky and glittery, so I just removed it. But everything else in here is original to the palette, and I like it. This looks like it would look like that, but on me it doesn't, and it may be the way I blend it out, I don't know. But for me, this is an anytime palette because you can do just your barely there looks. You have your deep blues, this deep greens, you have, you know, your copper tones, you have, you know, some of these little grungy tones here, and this one here. And so it's just, to me, a nice palette. And reviews are mixed because one of the complaints was some of the shades are repetitive, and they are. But those are tones that look good on me and that I like, and I'm able to, okay, if I just want to use these two columns, I can. If I want to use these two, I can. So if there's a duplicate between the tans, I don't care. And again, I was hoping Black Friday sales, it would be on sale because I do want to repurchase this, but I'm not paying full price for it. So I will wait. And if it never goes on sale, and if it's not new somewhere where I can purchase it, Macari particularly, because I don't really hang out on Poshmark, then I'll buy it. But then I'm like, where did it come from? Did they have it sitting open? Do they have pets? Do they smoke? That type of thing. So those are things I think about. This is the Zendo palette, but 5 of the shades in here are from Sunrise, because some of the Sunrise shades did not show up on me. Some of Zendo shades did not show up on me. And so I'm not going to take the time to tell you which is which, but I know definitely this is from Sunrise, and I believe this one too, and I believe maybe these 3 are from Sunrise. But I like the mix of, you have your blues and then you have your purples and your reds. And once I mixed the Sunrise, or switched out the Zendo shades with Sunrise, yeah, it is, it's these 2 and these 3. I fell in love with this palette once I switched it up, because I know I keep saying it, it's important for me to enjoy an entire palette. And once I put the Sunrise shades in here, I really started loving this, even though the majority is still Zendo. And so both of those palettes had mixed reviews, and I think it's just your preference, but I really do enjoy this palette. Now we're going to move on to, oh, I have 2 5 pans from Natasha Denona, and both of these I got from, I believe it was BoxyCharm. This is the Ayana palette. These shades show up on me different than how they look in the pan. This looks like a silver, but it's like a green silver. This looks like a brown. This showed up like a gray. But the looks were nice. It just wasn't what I thought, sorry for the snap, what they were going to look like. And this is Jubilee, and I purchased it because it just looked interesting. And I do like how these showed up on me. I think the only shade I did not use was this pink. And it looks like, what do these shades have to do with these 2? But for some reason it works. I don't know how, but it did. Okay. Ooh. This is Arcana from Shroud Cosmetics, and I purchased it because she grungy, period. That's why I purchased it, used it, I loved it. This, I think, was my first purchase from that brand. Lethal Cosmetics. Wait a minute. Yeah. I saw Martina on Instagram do a look with this palette, and I'm like, oh. So I went on the Lethal website and I purchased it because it's grungy, and I did use Teresa's Dead's code for 10% off. And also on the website, I purchased the Velvet Dusk palette because it's grungy. And I really fell in love with Lethal Cosmetics formula fairly quickly. And I now have also, what is this one? Night Flower palette. And I purchased their large mystery box, and I purchased Jolena, and both of those were on sale. Both Jolena and this one was on sale. And I really like this palette, even though I kind of stay away from monochromatic palettes. This one did to me look like it would have some variety in it, and I've done one look so far and I really like it. Of course, it was a purple pink look, but it was really pretty, and I am happy to have that palette. And yeah, I made another purchase from Lethal Cosmetics. It says it'll be here around the 26th of the month. I created a palette. It's a whole story behind it. But anyway, I forgot to show you the 2 single shades that I need to use that came in the large mystery bag. It was in the container with the stuff I need to use. Also from Lethal, Teresa is Dead. I really like this palette more than I thought I would. The first look was kind of funky, and Lethal Cosmetics, somebody from their team commented it was like a space grunge, something kind of look. And so I'm like, oh, they watched my video? Oh, can I get PR? But anyway, I did like the look, and sometimes I like looks that I do. Sorry for that loud snap. Sometimes I like looks that I do just because they're so different than like the typical looks that we see. And so that's kind of what I go for, is show me something I haven't seen, or I do something that hasn't been seen, or that I have not seen. Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn from BoxyCharm. I purchased it from them because I was just curious, and I really do like the palette. I don't use it much, and I really don't know why, because I love the color story, and it does have that borderline grungy look. And because I like this formula, that's why I went on the Lethal site when I hit their sale and purchased the 3 that I still need to use. When I like a formula from a brand, I tend to check out what else that they have. This is from Shroud Cosmetics, the Halloween Batty Bean collab. I was on a fence about it, and someone, I think it was Grace, Joe Beauty 87, are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? Are you going to get it? And I'm like, no, I got it. Because she sent me a link or the Instagram post or something of when it was on sale. I think that's what it happened. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And so I ordered it, and I'm just like, and then I'm watching reviews, and I'm just like, But then I got it, and I'm like, this is really okay. And maybe because my expectations were so low, because of my complexion, I'm like, okay, this is going to look like this, and that's going to look like that. This is a duochrome, and so is this one. And so, I mean, these shades, and again, maybe because my expectations were so low, I don't know, but I actually like the look I did, and I actually really like the palette. This is a MAC palette that I created from Singles. Grungy. I like it. Of course I like it because I created it. I'm excited to get my Lethal stuff, and it's hard picking shades online, so I'm kind of like, Martine Cosmetics, I purchased this when I purchased the Mission XXX bundle, and I'm like, okay, this is really just a basic palette. But this is just, it's easy. And the formula is really, what's going on with my lip? And the formula, I'm so easily distracted. I just pretend you didn't see it, but now that you see it, you can't unsee it. Look at that. I'm saying unsee it, but then I'm pointing it out. Okay, let me just keep going. And I really like it. And you may think, okay, it's just a really light basic palette, which it is, but you can use this to deepen. You can use this for upper lash line, lower lash line. I think I've done 2 looks with this palette, and I really like them both. And the formula is amazing, I think. But then I do like Martine Cosmetics formula. Y'all, we are almost done. During the break, I browned ground beef. And so I put the sauce in it, and that is simmering. And then after this portion of the video, those are heavy, I'm going to make some pasta and have my lunch. I'm putting these in order, even though they don't need to be, but that's just how I do. And from the MAC Black Panther collection, this little palette, when I swatched it in store, it was like very sheer. And I'm just like, And then the worker said, oh, well, they're creamy shadows. I said, I worked with creamy shadows and they had pigmentation. And so I purchased it anyway. This is a nice palette. And the shadows are pigmented. They are creamy, but they are very pigmented. And I was surprised. And then I'm like, why was the swatches in the store so horrible? And I'm thinking because people digging in it and the oils from their fingertips or whatever. But I was really surprised by this palette. And I am glad that I have it because I was thinking too, okay, these are real basic and I have these shades. But Black Panther, y'all, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, so I got it. And I got one of these for Smiley Shawnee too. And we actually did a collab using this palette. And so the Nessa Myricks Lightworks Volume 3, the Experience palette. I'm torn with this palette. Both of these are pressed pigment, so no, they're not going on my eyelids, which leaves me with these 6 for my lids. One of these is a cream. I forget which one. People say it creases no matter what, whether you layer it, whether you put something on top of it. I haven't experimented with that yet. So also I put one on one lower lash line, one on the other, and they looked exactly the same. So I'm just like, okay, so I really just have 5 shades. These 4 and 1 of these. But the looks I've done with these shades, they were okay. One I really liked, but I don't move to this palette. I need to use it more. I really do, because I purchased it and it's here. So I'm trying to see where my label is. It says when it's supposed to expire, or at least when I opened it, because it's good for 12 months after you open it. And because some of the shades in here are creamy, I think they will turn. This actually is Strawberry Moon from the highlighter palette, and this I used as a highlighter as well. And they both showed up really nice. I already knew I liked Strawberry Moon, and I do like how both of those look on my cheeks. This casing is Plain Jane that I won in a giveaway from Gel Beauty 87, aka Grace. And when the Heather Austin palette came out, I purchased that one. I was not happy with that palette as a whole. Yes, the looks were nice, but it wasn't my jam. And I felt bad because Heather commented on my video, I'm sorry you didn't like the palette, but the look is pretty. And I'm thinking, I know the look is pretty, but it's not my jam. But anyway, so I did feel bad about that. And so what I did was, because there were shadows in Plain Jane I wasn't using, there were shades in the Heather Austin palette that I didn't like and I knew I wasn't going to use. I said, let me see what I do like and put it together. So the ones that fit, these are the Plain Jane shades. I tend to like black-based multi-chromes and dual chromes because I like color, I like pigmentation. And so light shades like these, even if they're dual chrome or multi-chrome, it's not my jam because I like darker tones. And so that was the reason why, after I analyzed my thought process, why I wasn't using Plain Jane, because they were the lighter, and these aren't dual chromes, but they were the lighter shades, and I don't gravitate to lighter shades. But these were the darker base ones, which I liked. The smaller ones are from Heather Austin's palette, and the pans are smaller, as you can tell. And I really do like it. I know some people had an issue with the mattes, but I don't have an issue with the mattes from Heather's palette. And I do actually like the formula of it. And I was going to declutter this. I said, let me use it one more time. And I used it, remembered why I liked it, and it's still here. So that is that. Rock and Roll Beauty, the Bat palette. I purchased this first, and then Coffin was sold out. And so I said, well, good, because I didn't think I was going to get use out of Coffin because of the color story. But this is the Bat palette, and I have used this a few times. There's a playlist. I really like the looks that I did with this palette. The only thing, though, is hard to store because of the shape of it. But, you know, what do you want to do? And these are good for 24 months after you open it, which is awesome. Rock and Roll Beauty website, Coffin palette. And I'm thinking monochromatic, I'm not going to get a lot of use out of it. But actually, I did. I like the looks that I did. And yes, everything's going to be greenish or brownish or copperish. So it is very much monochromatic. But the looks were still very pretty. And you do have a little bit of variety. It's going to be a green or copper look. But the looks will look different, is what I'm saying. And so I am glad that I have this. I really do like the formula. Rock and Roll Beauty as a whole, I think some of their packaging is a little cheap looking, but I don't pay for packaging. Speaking of packaging, Pat McGrath, pet peeve. For the price, full price of these palettes, you can put the name of it on the palette. And so I put a label, which is hideous, so I can know what it is. And also on the inside, I put a label of what the shade names are, because a cardboard piece with the names on it don't fit inside the palette. And for the price, I want to know what stuff is. And people say, you know, it wouldn't look right, it would take away from the aesthetic, blah blah blah. I want to know what stuff is before I pick it up and open it, which is why I put labels on it. And also I know it's good, what's the word I'm looking for, price wise, it's easier for her just to have a basic palette with no name on it and not putting shade names on it, because she can just have somebody in the factory pick up any one of these casings and just put a color story in it, and okay, this is Mothership 3, 4, 12, 20, because there's no markings to say what it is. You see what I'm saying? Versus having something that's specific, and then you're just stuck with the casing and that particular color story, and you can't sell it. Whereas you can just put anything in here. Anyway, that's my pet peeve with her. Like, for the price, you can give me some more information without me having to keep the box. I don't keep the boxes. I don't like clutter. The boxes, the packaging is beautiful, but I don't want to have to keep that just to keep a card. And I don't have space where I would keep, you know, line them up in the background and you see all the pretty packaging, because it is very artistic and they are very beautiful, but I don't like clutter. So even if I had space for it, which I could make space for it, but I'm like, I'm not just keeping boxes to be keeping boxes. Rant over. I did not drink any more Mountain Dew. This is just how this affects me, but yet I still have it with the unsightly labels. Sublime. Initially, a couple years ago, I did purchase Pat McGrath palettes, and me and Pat did not get along. Those celestial shades, them shimmers, the chunks on my face, in my eyes, irritating my eyes. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. And then I learned new things. Sponge tip applicators. I know. Use your finger. I don't like using my finger for makeup. I don't want to have to wet my brush to use an eyeshadow. But then I tried sponge tip applicators. They work perfect for me for the celestial shades. I do need to be in the mood for the celestial shades because it takes longer. I need to take my time and all of that. But I was wanting to try her formula again, because during that year, I was learning different techniques and different things, sponge tip applicators, placement, whatever. So I said, I wanted to try again. And so she had a sale, I think it was the Total or Total 2, which had, I think, 4, 5, and 6. And so I purchased them and I played around with them and using the new techniques and the sponge tip applicators. I'm like, oh, okay, we can be friends. Yeah, so I'm going to show you those first, since those are the first 3 that I got. And I purchased 3, 4, and 5. No, 4, 5, and 6. Because the color stories to me were unique. I don't want all the pinks. I don't want all the mauves. How many pinks and mauves can you give me? Like, I know. And so I purchased what I did, and it was on sale, of course, because the color stories to me were unique. And it's important for me to have stuff that adds to my collection and not just a bunch of repeat shades and different palettes. So this was number 4, Decadence. It's an all shimmer / metallic palette. And I love this color story, and it smells like vanilla. Her palettes are good for 1 year after you open it. Someone commented under one of my videos, they have a Pat palette from, I think they said 8 years ago, and they said it still performs the same. I'm like, if that's true for me, that would be awesome. And so even though I usually pay around $80-something for one of her palettes because I only get them on sale. Okay, so that's Decadence. And then it was Bronze Seduction, which is number 5. And even though it's basic, the Celestial Shades makes it not basic. And this is what I have on today, basic. I didn't use any of the Celestial Shades today. So that is number 5. And number 6, because it was 3 in the set, is number 6, Midnight Sun. And that is what this looks like. And to me, this was unique, because this makes it grungy for me, like these two. Like, this will blend into nothing on my complexion. But these are grungy to me, these right here. And this one is not a dual chrome. I thought it was, but it's not. And so I do like this palette. And so then I kept looking at her palettes, and I thought, I think I want Subversive, which is number 3. And that's this one. Again, the color story is different. It's not all the pinks and the mauves. And these tones really do work well together. And they show up nice on me. This one, instead of dual chrome, yeah, because it's kind of, yeah, it's like a tan and then it's a pink. But, you know, it works and it's different. And so when I look at her palettes, I'm like, give me something I don't already have and give me something I like, not all the pinks and mauves. And I know some people love the pinks and the mauves, but I don't want that. And then I kept looking at Sublime, number 2. So I ended up purchasing this on sale. And it's kind of basic, except for the green. And I didn't purchase it just for the green. I look at the entire palette and think, okay, what can I do with this? And some of the looks I did with Pat's palette were like borderline grungy, which is great. And I remember saying I want to do something different with Pat than the looks you would normally see, which is like this one. And so even though I'm in the midst of a series using my motherships and some of the looks are basic, I am going to revisit and kind of grunge them out and troll them up just to show you options if you don't just like, you know, basic, safe, easy looks like this one. And so that is my goal with that. The last thing I'm going to show you as far as my collection, I kind of feel bad about it. This is Morphe. I won it in a giveaway, and it is 35M Boss Mood. I didn't think to ask about it. I received it, and when she showed it in a video, I'm like, oh, that is pretty, because it's not the typical monochromatic. You have the greens, you have the reds, you have some oranges, you have the purples, and you know, you have a black up here, you have this deep over here. So I'm like, okay, so I entered the giveaway and I won. When I got the palette, I looked at the back of the packaging. It listed all the shades that were pressed pigments. I'm like, fuck, my lids don't tolerate pressed pigments. And so I said, I'm going to put a mark on the sleeve where the shade names are and see which ones I can and cannot use. Look at this. Every black mark is a pressed pigment. Every black mark is over the shadow that's a pressed pigment. So I cannot use almost half this palette. And it's almost all the mattes. The only mattes that are not pressed pigments are these 3 right here. All the other mattes in your pressed pigments. So then I'm like, okay, well, I have a bunch of shimmers. I still haven't used this yet because I want to be able to use an entire palette. And so even though I could just use this and pick out shimmers, I'm like, the shimmers that are in here, I have similar color stories. And so I was thinking like, okay, should I find it at home or something? I still have not used it because I know someone would love to have this and be able to use it. Someone who's not sensitive to pressed pigments. But look at all the black lines. Those are all pressed pigments. That's like almost half the palette. And it's all the mattes except 3, which means I would need to go into another palette. Even this is a pressed pigment, the black one. So I would have to go into another palette for mattes. This would be an accompany palette. But for all the shades I couldn't use, I feel like I would be wasting. And so, and most people I know, their collection is so much larger than mine, so I don't want to add to their stuff, really. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but if you have like 200 palettes, like, why do you need a Morphe palette? You know what I mean? So it's still just here, and I do want to find it a home, but I'll do something with it because it is a beautiful palette. Listen, that was my entire makeup collection in what, 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. That is all of my makeup. How many of y'all can say that? You know what I'm saying? So when I say I don't have as much as a lot of people, I really don't. This is it. And someone requested, oh, can you rate your Odin's Eye? I don't have any. Can you do a review on Glaminatrix? I don't have any. Like, this is it. And everything is right here on this table. I can reach out and just grab what I want. Nothing's hidden. Nothing. I don't have to get up and go get anything. And I love it. Let me know what you think about my collection. Again, with the stuff that I have not used yet, if you want to see, well, I will be doing looks with that. So let me say this. If there's something particular, like the Nessa Myricks face palettes or something that I don't have a dedicated video on, let me know and I will do a dedicated video on that. And thank you for requesting, well, not requesting, but thank you for answering when I asked if you guys wanted to see this. And when I said pay attention to the lip, I put on the NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream. And this shade is in Berry Bed Sheets. And I purchased this, as I was saying earlier, because someone requested it and I didn't have it. And it was Chamois. I am so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. they requested me to do a review on this. And so that's what it is. It does say matte liquid cream. It feels dry. Putting it on, it was patchy. I had to wait for it to dry. This is like 4 layers. And then when you apply it, if you try to blend it out, it shears out. And because I like color, and because this is the color, this is what I want to show up on my lips. It does feel comfortable. It doesn't feel sticky. But it was just going on patchy. And if I went like this before it dried, it would shear out the color on the bottom because the color would transfer to the top. I think I hear my sauce bubbling. Pasta sauce. Another request was Rosalind asked for my best and worst products from each brand, eyeshadows and other items. I can't do a best and worst because I only keep what I like. If I don't like something, I declutter it. And so I apologize for not being able to fulfill your requests because everything I have, everything I've shown you, I actually really like. So there's not really a best and worst. And even when I do rankings, it's difficult to do the rankings because I really do enjoy everything that I have. And so I think I got everybody's request in. That is it for this video. And let me know what you think. Like I'm feeling really good. And so even showing you everything, it's like, okay, we did the damn thing. And opening stuff up and showing you. I'm not going to babble because this was hella long enough. And thank you for everyone who did make a request. And yeah, you will see me in the next video. Thank you.